With spring and summer soon on the way, vacation may be on your mind.
Or maybe some home improvement projects, and you might be thinking of putting those things on your credit card.
John Holt, the president and CEO of Nutmeg State Financial Credit Union, is joining us now. We're talking about using your credit cards carefully and how to take advantage of them, because I know my credit cards work for me. I don't work for my credit cards.
Yep.
Which is a good thing, because I get cash back on mine. Now, some people choose the travel points. Some people choose to get the cash back. If you're going to pay, you know, some of these credit cards can be really advantageous if you pay them off in a monthly fashion, right?
Yeah, and that's the key, because a lot of times people will want cash back, or they'll want the travel points, like on a Southwest card. A lot of times people will get them for certain reasons, but if you don't pay off the balance, be careful, because you could have an interest rate that's 20% or more. There's sometimes fees for not paying off the balance, or fees for doing a balance transfer. So you have to be careful of that. So if your intent is to get a certain type of reward, cash or travel points, fine, if you're paying it off.
If you're paying it off.
And you say basically we should pay them off within 30 days, but take heart for the people out there going, oh, that's not working for me. Sometimes you say it's okay, but make the plan for 2 to 3 months that you're going to have that bigger purchase paid off, and then it still could work for you that you did it that way.
Yeah, and there's always a minimum payment anyway to make. But again, that's something to be very careful, because most of these credit cards, even with people who have great credit scores, if you look in the fine print, it's like 20, 25%. It's really outrageous. I think that's why the Nutmeg credit card is such an advantage, because the rates are as low as 9.95 and it's fixed.
Wow, that's really good.
So that's another big thing, because a lot of the credit
Look for a fixed rate.
Yeah, but most of them aren't.
Most of them
We're
aren't.
like one of the few that I know of. Most of them are variable and tied to when rates go up or down when the Fed posts changes in their rates.
Is there a one reward program that's better than another? Should I be getting cash back? Should I be getting the travel points? Or it is all dependent on what I use it for?
Yeah, I think it depends on what you use it for. It's good to put the pros and cons and look, at the rate, look at any fees, annual fees, balance transfer fees. If you're paying it off and you need all these reward points. I mean, I do that on some of the credit cards I have. I pay off it, and I get all of the reward points. But if you can't do that, be very careful, because there's a lot of fees. So I think it does depend on what you're using it for and individually what you want out of it.
Because sometimes, I know with the travel cards, I've been frustrated that sometimes you want to use the points and then you can't use them, because you can't use them on the dates you want to go, or the airline that's going to have, so you have to also look how lenient is the policy with these points. Are you really going to use it?
And a lot of times they expire after a year. So if you're not watching it, you get all these points, and if you haven't used them, the points expire. Some points don't expire. Like our cards, we don't expire our points for 3 years.
For 3
Okay.
So
years.
you have quite a bit of time to use them. But you have to also watch stuff like that on the points, because they could be gone before you know it.
Should you be, I think I know the answer to this, but should you, I did most of my Christmas shopping at J. Crew this year. So I got a huge balance, and then they were like, well, if you open up a card today, it's 20% off your purchase. I was like, 20% of 1,000 is like a big amount of money. So I did it, but I'm like, A, is that affecting my credit score? And B, if I don't pay that off, they can come back to get me.
Well, I think it certainly can impact your credit score, depending on how long you leave that large balance on there, or how fast you pay it off. I don't think that's a big impact to your credit score.
Okay.
The other thing that I also want to mention, you just made me think of this, is these balance transfer promotions.
Yeah.
They are effective, but you still have to read the fine print. Like, we have a balance transfer right now. If you transfer your credit card balances from other credit cards onto ours, it's 0% for 6 months. So if you're paying 21% because you have a large balance on your Crew card, and you move it to our card, it's 0% for 6 months, and you don't pay anything. But you have to be careful, because sometimes there's fees on balance transfers and stuff like that. So, and a lot of these things are in the fine print, not for anything, but you really do need to read those.
Read the fine print.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Thanks, John.
So credit cards also, they're not the worst thing on earth. They can actually help you build a credit score if you use them responsibly.
Yeah, and there's some, like we have a secured credit card. So if you're young and you don't have credit, or you just don't have credit, or whatever age you are, you can put money on a credit card and then use it to build your credit.
Thanks, John. Always good information.
For more information and to find a branch near you, visit nutmegstatefcu.org.